Hey, welcome back to DIY Willie. And, well, we're going to look at some parts I got from the razor. The other day, just after Thanksgiving, I went out and did some walking around in the junkyards or scrap yards or recycling, auto recyclers, whatever you want to call them. I call them junkyards. And I found some pretty good junk. Let's take a look at what we got. What we got is a starter. Now, it's a remanufactured unit. How do I know? Because it says so right there. And I got a cable that goes from the starter to the alternator. Couple different hoses. This is all part of the steam vent. I may or may not use that. I don't know. We got the alternator, which is hanging out right there already. I put that in just to see how well it fit. I mean, of course it's going to fit. It came off a 2.2 liter, but I just wanted to put it in there and check it out. Before I cleaned it all up, I'll probably take it out again and just give it a wipe down real fast and get it nice and clean and degrease it, because I've been working on the starter. The starter was pretty greasy. The engine, I took it off, had a leak at the oil fill and was leaking down the side of the engine right over the starter, so it was kind of oily. But I got that all cleaned up. I'll get the alternator cleaned up just the same. We'll get that wire put on, and we'll at least have that system in, ready to turn the motor over when we get the standalone computer harness for it. Now, I got one more thing that this engine needs to run. This is a drive-by-wire throttle body. We could have changed it out for a cable operated throttle body, but we chose to leave it drive-by-wire. So it would have been easier because it would have used the Polaris pedal if we left it cable operated. But since we changed it out, we're leaving it drive-by-wire. I have to get a drive-by-wire pedal. Let's take a look at that. So here's the pedal I got. And this came out of the same car I got the starter and the alternator from. And it, you know, if you gauge the miles on the car by the wear on the pedal, this really doesn't have any wear. It looks really good. I mean, I'll clean it up, but it looks really good. And the new harness will have the plug for the pedal. So this is the pedal assembly for the razor, the brake and the gas pedal. And I've got to make that pedal work with this one, get rid of the cable operated pedal. And well, I need to pre-fit all this stuff to see how it's going to fit in there, and whether or not that pedal works. I believe it will. Just by the quick look that I had, I believe it's going to fit really good in there. We're just going to have to manufacture a bracket that's going to hold it. A little bit of welding, a little bit of drilling, a little bit of cutting, and we'll have something. Guaranteed we'll have something. And I got a new rib nut tool that we can use to put the M6 nuts in the plate, that whatever we use, because I got all the hardware for the pedal and the alternator and starter from the engine I took it off of, so I don't have to look for hardware. I got it all. So let's get the original pedal assembly put in the car, and that way we can measure what we need to do to put the new drive-by-wire pedal in. So we're not going to need this pedal where we're going, and I don't remember how this spring worked anyway. When I took it all apart, that was a long time ago, late last year? I don't remember how it went, so we're not going to use that anyway. So if the pedal goes away, the spring goes away, we'll probably have to cut this right here, get rid of this stub here, and well, let's put the rest of it in there and see how it goes. I know the lighting's bad because it's awful bright behind here, but this is where it goes. You got the 4 bolts right there. You got the 4 bolts right here. And this is where the old cable came through for the gas pedal. So, and this is obviously the brake master cylinder. So we're just gonna slip this over like this and try to get it in on the bolt holes. One-handed operation. We can do this. I thought we could do this. How can we do this? I need to use both hands. Besides, I'm putting you in the sky anyway. All right, look at that. We got that in. The brake actuates the reservoir now, the brake master cylinder. And this is where we're going to want our pedal. Now, would you look at that? Look how perfectly it fits in there. I can't believe it. It is nice. Now, it looks like it will go right there. You know? How am I going to do that? It looks perfect. I can utilize this hole maybe. And I don't know what. Maybe I'll raise it up a little bit. I don't know. I got to figure that out. But it looks like it's going to fit there perfectly. Look how the pedals line up. It just looks nice. So now we need to make a mounting bracket that we can mount the 3 holes here, and we can weld over here and have 1 extra hole going maybe into that bolt right there, that hole. So let's make that bracket. All right, so I've made a crude template of the brake, or the, excuse me, of the gas pedal assembly, and just for the bolt hole patterns that I need to bolt it to the bracket. And I transferred the template and the bolt holes over to a piece of, I think it's 11 gauge steel. And then I drilled the holes and put some rib nuts in it with this rib nut kit that I picked up off the old jungle site. Has various sizes in there. I'm at the time using M6. So I didn't know that the stock hardware here that I got off the car was M6. I had to measure it. I had to measure it off of my little bolt templates here. I don't know what else to call these. There's a lot of different sizes in there. You just stick the bolt in. There's M6-1 right there, and it threads right in. So right away I knew that this was M6. And well, I put M6 rib nuts in there, and it all goes together very nicely. Let me put it together and I'll show you. So there we go. It's all bolted together. Now I don't know how much more of this material on the back. I left a lot of excess, almost about 1.5 inches, to where I can position the pedal as I need it in the car. And we're going to take a look at that right now. All right. So I know I'm going to cut this off, but I've got the pedal assembly mounted in there. The brakes working. And we're going to put this probably right there. Yeah, I'll probably mark it off and put it right there. And then just weld it to the existing bracket. I think that's going to be plenty strong enough. We may not even need the other tab coming over here. I don't know. It looks like it'll be pretty strong. I'll get it marked up, and then we'll take it back off and get it tacked in and put it back on. So it'll look really nice. Take a look at that. Got the bracket mounted now. It's all welded in. Everything looks really good. I like the position of it. And yeah, we'll throw some black paint on it. Well, maybe not right now, but we'll definitely get it painted black and then get it back in the car. Right now I'm going to go ahead and mount the pedal back on it and mount it back in the car to see how it is off the floor. Well, we're that much closer to driving this car. I swear, man, every day I come out here and work, we get a little closer and a little closer and a little closer, and we're good now. I don't know if you can see it behind me. There's a lot of the roll cage in already. All back there in the back. All up here in the front. Runs down. Goes all the way down to the floor. All the way around. Comes around. It's a little bit close to the noggin. But that's what helmets are for, right? And, well, we got this new steering wheel. And I wanted to put it on just to show it. I should have probably done a video on how to put it on. I don't know. I was so excited to get it, and and try it. But it's got its own adapter, and it fits on there really nice. It's not 100% tight yet. Things are a little bit wobbly, but it's in there, and I think it looks good, and it'll clear. It's a little bit smaller, so it'll clear the old digits right here at the roll cage. Put a little padding on here, wear some gloves, and man, you'll be good right there. But take a look at that gas pedal. Can you see it down there? Look at that. Get that out of the way. Look at that. It is perfect. It is ready to go. You got the brake in. Brake works good. You got full gas right there. That works good. You can go, whoa, Willie, stop. Sure. Whoa, Willie, stop. Whoa. It worked out good. And it's good. It's going to have quite a bit of wires to run for it, but we'll run them up and kind of tuck them out of the way and then behind the plastic. Oh yeah, and a lot of the floor is temporarily in place while we do some of this fit up, especially down around the roll cage and everything. The floor in, the center console. Groot's barking. I don't know why, but a lot of the stuff's in already, and well, even the oh shit handle is in. We just wanted to have a lot of stuff in while we're doing some little touches right now with some of the roll cage stuff and obviously the pedals. I needed to know where the plastic was for the pedals. So it's really coming along, guys. It's getting closer and closer to being done. There's just a few little minor things that need to be modified in here, and well, there's a lot of welding for the cage to be done, but I'm going to take the body off again to weld the cage. That way there's a lot easier angles to get at. So this video about mounting the gas pedal and the alternator and the starter. Whoa, wait, we didn't install the starter. We should install the starter. Give me a couple minutes. Okay, here we go. Kind of hard to see, but the starter is installed. It is bolted in, ready to meet the flywheel. All we need is the wiring. Now I notice with the alternator in place that my upper radiator hose idea that I had won't work. I'm gonna have to change how the return, the cool water comes back from the radiator into the engine. The hose has a hard time fitting between the alternator and the chassis. So, you know, this stuff wasn't meant to be this way. So I got to figure that out now. I may have to add an extra length of hose, an extra bend somewhere to get around the alternator and still keep it away from the frame. Yeah, let's take a look at that. So there's the alternator down here. See it? Woo, right here. And the radiator inlet or outlet from the radiator inlet to the engine is up here on top, right above the alternator. Now, normally in the Cobalt car that this engine comes from, this radiator hose would go straight out to the radiator right here. So it wouldn't interfere with the alternator. Well, the intake manifold's there, the alternator's there, and this frame, this chassis bar is here too. So I need to come out and get down there to the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. Down there to the bottom where the hose connects to the tubes that run up to the front. So I may wind up bringing this over this way, like 90 in it, over, and then go down under the radiator and kick it back to where it goes back to the channel or the tube for goes up to the front. So there's a couple things that could be wrong with that. Is I still have like a shear brace that goes from underneath here to the chassis. That might limit some of that motion. I don't know. I don't have that 1-inch material to make that bracket yet, or that tube. I need to do it on that side as well. It kind of keeps this thing straight and keeps it from racking if it gets hit on the side. So I need to put that in, and then I'll have to see where that radiator hose can go. I may have to come over this way again, kick down, and then back over. So hopefully it'll work. I could put a fill up here on the top, come out the little piece of hose, have a fill, and then, I don't know, go down. I don't know. I haven't got it figured out yet. But now this presents a problem for that return hose. And, well, we'll work it out. That's what we do here at DIY Willy. Fix the problems, make things work, and get this car running. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and, well, come back to DIY Willy for more on this BAJA RZR project that we're building. You can get the link to the playlist down here in the description. And if you have any comments, please leave it down below in the comment box, in the comment area, I should say, about what's going on. If you haven't seen this build before, what I'm doing. Again, the gas pedal worked perfect. The alternator's in, the starter's in. Even the little wire that runs between the starter and the alternator is in. It fits perfectly. And well, we just got to do all the final details and get this body off and start welding things up again. I only got two more tubes. Well, more than a couple, maybe like 7 more tubes that need to go into the roll cage. And then the body comes off when we weld all this thing up and paint it. And then we'll start putting it back together for good. Then the hard part is going to build a floor, like a firewall floor over the back of the engine. You know, we don't want that thing getting heat up inside, and we don't want dirt and debris or whatever coming up, and we don't want, if it blows a hose, to spray antifreeze all over everywhere. So we got to build a firewall. We got to build a floor across the top that also has some heat insulation, and we'll make it all work. We'll figure it out. I'm thinking about making it out of plastic, the same type of ABS plastic that the original body was made out of for the RZR. I can get sheets of it and kind of shape the sheets into what I want. So anyway, as I said, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to follow up and see more on what this build is going on. And well, I'll see you next time. Bye.